Okay, I'd like to tie a little pattern. I call it the foam wing Trico. Here, a month or so ago, my good friend Mike Sodurska introduced me to tying wings with fun foam material. I sat down at the vise and messed around a little bit and came up with this pattern. I'm sure it's been tied someplace before, probably not original, but it is a nice little pattern. It has a nice long tail, a little longer than the body. The color is good. It's a black, which is what we look for in a trico. Notice that the thorax is pretty big, which is what you'll find in a trico. The size is, I've tied this on a size 20. It's a 2x sharp shank hook, so you actually get the length of the body is probably smaller than actually a 20. Might be a 22. So the size, the shape, the color, it floats high in the water, so the behavior of the fly is all good. It would be a good fly to use, I think, early in the morning or late in the evening when you're fishing tricos. I'm going to tie this on a TMC 2488. This is a size 20. This actually has a 3x gap and a 2x long shank. I'm going to tie it using 12-aught thread. This is black Vivus. I'm going to start my thread about an eye length or two back. And we'll lay a base down the shank. Cut off our excess. We'll twist this a little bit. It looked like it flattened out. Okay, for the tail, I'm going to be using some Coq de Leon. This is in a black with a brownish tint. I'm going to use just a few fibers. It's a nice soft fiber. It'll move a little bit in the water. It'll give you some action for the fly. So this fly will have all of the elements of a good fly design. It has some action, has size, has shape, has color. I'm going to make this just a little bit longer than the shank. Okay, with soft wrap, we then make a little hard wrap and roll it over. This whole feather then will roll over on top of the shank. Lift the tail up a little bit. And I'm going to run some thread behind it to separate them just a little bit. Bring our thread down. Shank and clip off the excess. So our thread now is right about at the starting point. Okay, for the wings, I'm going to be using just good old fun foam. This is in a white. You can see it's a 2 millimeter. It's not very thick. I've cut it into 1/8 inch strips. And I'm going to use that to make the wing. So I've got a small strip here I've used before. You can see this is the 2 millimeter side. I'm going to hold it with the straight side towards me, and I'm going to clip it at an angle. So I have something that looks like that. Okay, with the straight side down, I'm going to measure it, and I want it about this length of the shank. And then I'm going to use a pinch ramp to hold it in place on top of the shank. A couple more wraps to hold it in place. Lift it here to make sure I've got plenty of room. Put a little dam there to hold that from coming forward. Then back around a couple of times. Okay, then I'm going to take a pair of good sharp pointed scissors and I'm going to clip off the excess. Now clips it off at a little bit of an angle. And then I'm going to come on back and I'm going to build up the body and the thorax. I'm going to make sure my 2 millimeters are straight up. You can see here the 2 millimeters that I have. I'm going to divide that. Okay, we got a nice little tapered body with a big thorax. Bring my thread in front. And now I've got my wing. In order to do this, then the wing, I'm going to split it. And this is probably the most difficult part of tying this fly. You want to split this, if you can, as much as you can, right down the middle. And that becomes a little tedious. Okay, I've split it. I haven't split it too far, so I'm going to take a razor blade and do the rest of it right down to the thread. I don't want to cut my thread. Okay. See, now I've split my wings. And I notice here that I've got a white spot showing where I didn't completely wrap it. I'm going to take a little felt tip marker and just cover that. Okay, it looks like we've got a little stragglers hanging here. Let's see if we can get that. Okay, for the hackle, I'm going to be using some black whiting 100 pack. This is a size 20. I'm going to peel the barbules off the end down here. Don't need to go too far. And I want to get the barbules off so they don't go haywire when I make the wrap. Okay, now I don't really worry too much whether the concave side is forward or back. Since this is such a small fly, it's really not going to make a whole lot of difference. Okay, I'll make 2 wraps behind the wings. I'm going to lift them and make 2 wraps in front. Okay, then I'm going to make my hackle behind, make 2 wraps. And I'm going to lift my wings and make a wrap in front. And if I have the room, I'm going to make 2 wraps. It looks like I have the room, so I'll make 2 wraps. Okay, I'll tie off my hackle. Okay, you can clip it off. And I'm going to use my half-hitch tool to finish off the fly. Okay, put a little thread, a little head cement on the thread. And we'll make one more turn. Okay. Just to ensure that my wings stay separated, I'm going to put just a drop of head cement between them. And there we have foam wing trico.